you're a lasagna lover like me, I know it's hard to imagine. But if you love lasagna as much as I do, and you're always looking for a new twist on it or a different way to enjoy it, well, this is the episode for you. Today I'm going to show you how to make an absolutely delicious and super easy lasagna that's Greek inspired with feta cheese instead of mozzarella, bechamel sauce instead of the classic tomato sauce, and filled with veggies that your kids or anyone else who's not big on vegetables will love this as well. And it's all going to be done with no boil lasagna noodles. So to start us off here, it's very, very easy. We're going to start off with a basic sauce. Let me get this going here. A basic sauce that's going to start with a stick and a half of butter that's going to go in. And I'm just going to kind of chop up an onion and basically just start browning this off or sauteing this off in your pan. Now, the beauty about this recipe as well, everything's going to happen in one pot. So basically it's going to go from your pot to your lasagna pan. And by the way, while I'm on it, I am using my Epic 9x13 stainless steel pan. Anybody who knows me knows that I have like an emotional attachment to this pan. So this is what we're going to use to bake it off. I'm going to use a couple of cloves of garlic and just very simply just chop this up. And again, this will go in with our onion mix. Give those about 3 or 4 minutes to not really, you don't want them to brown as much as you just want the flavors and the oils to kind of come out. Now time to add a little bit of fresh cracked black pepper. That goes into our onions and our garlic. I will tell you there's absolutely zero salt in this recipe at all. Between the 300 grams of feta that's going in here, you don't need any more salt. Believe me when I tell you. All right, so that's fantastic. Everything is looking amazing. Our onions and garlic are in. Next thing to go into our pot or to start off our sauce or bechamel is 1 cup of flour will go in. Now, the next thing to add to this is our 8 cups of milk. Very, very carefully because I end up splashing everything. So you're going to put about 2 cups into this just to kind of deglaze the bottom of our pan or our pot. And once it kind of becomes solid or becomes really, really thick and tacky, then we go in with the rest of it, again, very slowly. You don't want to go too crazy on this. Another trick I'll tell you now to this is we go from a wooden spoon to a whisk. This makes all the difference, and what I do is I just go in circular motions, touching the very bottom of my pot, and that way gets all the bits off the bottom. By the way, as well, before I forget, you're going to preheat your oven 375 degrees Fahrenheit or about 180 degrees Celsius. The next thing to go in, and I love this, is frozen spinach. You're going to use about 300 grams or a 300 gram package of frozen spinach. I'm just going to put it in there just like that, solid. And what's going to wind up happening is this will slowly start to melt and break up within our sauce. The next thing to go in is our frozen peas and carrots. Again, I love these. And for this recipe here, I'm going to use about 300 grams, give or take, of frozen peas and carrots, and they are absolutely fantastic in this dish. Make sure that your sauce doesn't get too thick on you because you want a little bit of runniness to it as well. So if you see that it's kind of thickening up a little bit too much, just add a little bit of water. Nothing to it at all. Maybe a mug, a cup or so, cup and a half will go into this and it'll loosen it up. No problem at all. At this point as well, in every bechamel based sauce, we're going to add some nutmeg. In this case, I'm going to add about 1/8 to 1/4 of a nutmeg pod into our sauce, and that's going to give it that background little hint of that something, and it's the nutmeg that gives you that. The next thing to go in is our main flavor ingredient, which is feta. This recipe does not chintzy on the feta. You're going to use about 300 grams of feta total, And again, I cannot stress this enough. Avoid the pre-crumbled stuff for the love of Pete. Like it's not difficult to grate this yourself or crumble this in yourself. The quality and overall flavor of this dish will actually, you'll notice between the pre-grated feta or the pre-crumbled feta and the regular feta. So we're going to use about 150 grams or so of feta into our sauce, and then we're going to use another 150 grams on top before we bake it to sprinkle over it and give us that kind of crunchy deliciousness after it melts and it browns off. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to turn my pan this way. Again, 9x13 stainless steel pan, and all I'm going to do is, using a ladle, start basically ladling a light layer on the bottom. And the reason we're putting a light layer on the bottom is we don't want our noodles to stick as they bake off. And we start layering. 1, 2, 3, 4, and break it off just like that. 5. Easy peasy. Again, you're gonna go generous with the sauce in this because the sauce is what's gonna actually help cook your noodles. So our last layer of noodles has just gone on, and I'm just adding the last bit of sauce to this lasagna of ours. And this is almost ready to go in the oven. Now, we're talking about the other 150 grams of crumbled feta that we're gonna add on top of this. So I'm just gonna, ooh, that fell in on me, but that's okay. Just gonna take this and just break it up all over this. All right. The next part of this, or the last part that I add to this, is I've got some mizithra. Mizithra is the Greek equivalent to like a Parmesan. So if you can't find mizithra where you are, that's totally cool. You can go ahead and use Parmesan or skip this step completely. And now just really nice and easy, just from a height, just drizzle it on top. It's like a snowstorm of flavor. And that goes in just like that. And now, my dear friends, this is gonna go into our oven, preheated, 375 we said, for about 35 to 45 minutes. Keep an eye on it. You want the feta on top to melt and blister, but you don't want to burn it. So once this comes out of the oven, we'll take it from there. All right, and now it's time to get the show on the road, or what this whole thing is about. My Greek vegetarian lasagna has been out of the oven for about 45 minutes, so it's had a chance to kind of settle, reconstitute, and now it's time for the moment of truth. I'm just gonna grab a few tools here, and I'm gonna cut into this puppy, but I have to tell you, it smells absolutely fantastic in here. This is like a no joke kind of meal. So I'm just gonna start cutting this. Here, like I said, dinner pieces, you'll probably get about 6 to 8 solid pieces. Now this first piece usually is the one that gets screwed up, so I'll do my best here to check it out. Check it out, that is absolutely amazing. Look at this. Wow. Let me just close this up here. Look at this. All the layers of the noodles have all kind of melted off there. It's absolutely fantastic. You can see the peas, the carrots, the spinach, all in there. The feta has actually dissolved, and you can actually see in the middle and on top it's browned off completely. This is absolutely exactly what it should turn out like. Oh my God. This is it. Right here. This has been my Greek vegetarian lasagna. Super easy to make. a snap, and it's a real people pleaser. Hope you like this. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you very much for watching. Bye for now.